The holiday season pulls you back into the same rooms year after year. You're gathered around grandma's dining table, your belly stuffed with too many gingerbread cookies, the conversation running dry as the kids get antsy. And then, like clockwork, there's one ritual that brings the whole family together in a way nothing else can: a board game. Despite the inevitable arguments over trades and the way too long playing time, this game has endured in ways nobody could have predicted. The Beatles played it in a New York hotel room on their first U.S. tour. During World War II, it was used to smuggle maps and money to POWs. But the story of how it became a staple in your game cabinet is stranger than your Aunt Tippy's ambrosia salad. So how did a handmade game from 1904 evolve into a cultural icon with thousands of variations and more than 275 million copies sold worldwide? And that's why this week's On Brand is on Monopoly.
We're all jazzed up, nearly having a cow. You want your favorite show and it's on right now. It's on Brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa. I am Jon.
I'm Marisa.
Are you glugging eggnog over there? Like you've just finished your cold read. You can't go 8 seconds without glugging?
Without a sip of eggnog.
It looks like eggnog or a milkshake. You're going in.
I served you eggnog 2 nights ago that you described as...
It had bits of egg in it, I think.
Chunky slime.
No, little. I took a sip, my first sip of eggnog in probably 8 years.
Uh-huh.
Your husband offered to me. We both had it, and then it was like little.
Wait, did you hear a zip before he offered it?
Hey, this is on brand. Zip talk is off brand. There was little bits hitting my lip.
Bit hit the lip.
A little bit on the lip.
You know, this is a really important instruction on any carton. Shake well.
We don't read it. When was the last time we read milk?
Men do not read instructions, and here is all the proof you need.
I'm all about shaking well. It's like men. They don't shake well. They don't ask for directions.
The last 2 inches of a carton of eggnog is all slime, and people don't know that. You have to shake it up to integrate the bits.
You know what I've been doing for the last 6 months, ever since I saw Kathy Griffin do it on a TikTok?
What?
When I take the lid off of my milk, I blow the chunks away. There's little, just around the rim.
Kathy Griffin is doing TikToks where she teaches you how to blow chunks off your milk?
No, she was just doing a TikTok while she was preparing cereal to eat.
Okay.
And she took the milk out of the fridge, took the top off, and went... And I was like, because I always get those little bits falling, the little milk flakes fall into the bowl.
This is very similar to our ketchup water talk.
Ketchup pre...
Yeah.
Oh, off brand. Sorry.
I'll bleep that.
No, bleep it. Nah, I don't know. It's Christmas.
Oh.
Had eggnog.
Yeah, the bits and bobs. I actually, I don't know if I thought about this consciously, but I was like, I bet if you're a rich person and you have a chef or something, that's part of their duty is after they squirt out the mustard or whatever, that they wipe the rim with a warm wet rag.
Yeah, or it's on their to-do list every morning. They come in, they take all the lids off all the milks and blow the flakes. They probably blow them into the yard. No, they probably blow them into the garbage. Like mine, when I die, they're going to be like SVU. SVU?
Oh, wait, how do you die?
How did I die? Law and Order, whatever.
They're going to be shuffling through 6 inches of milk crumbs.
They're like, what? We keep finding these mysterious white crumbs. They must have something
Feeling
to do.
it between their thumb and forefinger.
Wait a second, this looks familiar.
Touching it to their tongue. If I see something mysterious that I don't know what it is, I ain't touching it to my tongue.
I might taste it. I've tasted a lot of liquids.
Yeah, and
You get
scabs.
Speaking of liquids, frozen liquids, ice, Capade. What's going on?
What's going on?
Since I've started doing ice Capades, the scene has changed.
What do you mean?
So I recently, this week, went to do an ice Capade. One of my go-tos is Del Taco on Sunset.
What makes that a good ice Capade spot?
It's just kind of I go past it a lot.
Sure.
It's kind of like...
Easy parking?
No.
Oh.
3 parking spots. And when I go in and they're all 3 gone, there's parking spots all the way across the parking lot. I get so mad if I have to walk across that parking lot with all my containers of ice.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Sometimes I just leave.
You need a wagon.
I need something. Probably just a better life.
That counts. That's what you need. Yeah.
But I snuck in to do an ice Capade. I take my cup, clink it in. Nothing. Click, click.
Pardon?
Click. click, click. They now have a switchy switch behind the cashier to turn off ice and soda to prevent it from being stolen from the likes of me.
Ooh, do they call this like John's rule?
The John switch. We need to have 4 John switches put in.
There was a corporate meeting about the John switch, and they are rolling them out nationwide, beginning in Los Angeles.
I would like to think it's because more people were stealing soda than ice.
So, like, if a customer buys a soda, they flip the switch, and then they let them get. I find that to be an annoying burden on a fast food employee, because what if somebody wants a free refill? You have to go and be like, "Can I have a refill?" And then like flip the switch. That's annoying.
I know. So I had to be like, "Hey, I've had to have them turn the switch on." Once they didn't want to turn the switch on and had me give them my cup so they could put ice in it.
I mean, that's just what it should be. We should get rid of self-serve sodas if that's what we.
I go in now with 4 of these containers.
That is too much.
You say that's too much. Do you hear this?
Oh, everybody hears that, honey.
What's today? Thursday.
Yeah.
You know what you hear?
What?
Tuesday. This is Tuesday ice.
Wow, you're like a time traveler.
That ice has seen things that we don't even know.
We don't even remember.
We don't even remember.
So this is Del Taco ice?
This is Jersey Mike's ice. That's my also. That's also become a real go-to of mine. Okay. But here's the thing at Jersey Mike's. I go in and I hide 3 of my containers in a bag.
Sure, because if you show in with like the way that you like a diner waitress who's been doing it for 80 years will hold like 8 mugs at once, you had that with Stanley's, and you strut in like that, 4 in each hand. No, you gotta hide the bulk of it. Okay,
I hide all of them, but the bright orange Stanley, and I hold up and say, "Mind if I grab some ice?" And they're always like, "No problem." And then I'm wondering if they're like, "Why is he there for 8 minutes?" Because I like have to fill them up, lid them.
You need like a one Stanley that has like a false bottom that like empties into your pant leg or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Okay, you get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Each container serves a different purpose. Sure. The orange one that's either going to be my lemonade or my Diet Coke. I'll have a couple that'll just be ice that I'll put in the fridge. That can go to whatever I want. And then I'll have a small black one. That's going to be the ice for my iced latte in the morning.
12 by 12 inches. The footprint of your own personal nugget ice maker. 12 by 12. I'm sure the super sleuths listening have heard you name things that are in your apartment that are at least, if not bigger than that size. There's peeps in your home at this time. You could fit 3 ice makers in 1 peep.
I wasn't planning on talking about this.
John? What? What? It can't be worse than anything you've said thus far.
I can't.
Not planning. People might think that you start to do like weird stuff. So it's like, oh, you can have a funny story for the pod. It's actually quite the opposite.
Never.
What happened, John?
I was recently given an ice maker.
You're kidding. How recently?
I think before Thanksgiving, like a month ago.
Okay.
It's in the car, but my...
If I had seen that in the backseat of your car, in box, Cuisinart, are you kidding?
No.
Who gave it to you?
My friend Christine.
Okay, nice.
She had bought it for her
gift.
husband.
Great.
She thought he would love it. He didn't.
Perfect.
She's like, take it, see if you like it. It's very small, but you know.
Yeah.
But my kitchen right now, it's
Honey.
like, it's like.
The time it takes you to do an ice capade versus the time it would take to clear off a 12 by 12.
Good point.
You could do it. Looking for parking.
It's on the list for next year.
I think part of you gets a thrill out of the ice capade.
I like the immediate satisfaction of like that I have been to places that have a small ice maker. You fill up half a Stanley and then it's like for like for 8 hours, and then you're like, okay, now I have another.
You were about to say half an hour, and then you were like, that's too short.
Yeah,
She's
that
gonna
is
make
too
fun
short
of me
because
about
it's not that fast.
Okay.
I mean, they do start like dribbling out pretty quick.
One by one. Yeah, but if it's going in your home, you're home. Just scoop it in.
But it's also my house is small, so it's like I have to, and I have that disease.
What disease?
The hearing one.
Memoria?
Mimisophobia.
Sounds.
Miso. I think it's misophonia.
Miso soup.
Miso. It's for Jar Jar Binks disease. Misophonia.
You can only hear Jar Jar Binks.
So I focus on sound. But listen, no, it was a great gift. I'm excited.
It's
Try it.
Really great. It's actually a really great gift.
It's a really great gift. Perfect, actually.
Beyond. I actually want to take credit for getting you to get a storage unit because this was like, this is how your friends are. It's like we beg and beg and beg, and then you resist and resist and resist. And then can you imagine your life? I honestly cannot even imagine your life without the storage unit because you would be like that old lady on Hoarders with just her head poking up, surrounded by igloo coolers and teddy bears.
I mean, I'm basically at that point again. Things are not good, but we don't have to go into all that. We'll save that for off-brand. We'll save that for private. Maybe we'll auction off a private conversation with Jon.
We'll auction it off. I love that. Where we just really spill every last bean.
We'll all sit in the unit with some freak and just tell them all. And then like the media's all outside, like the door opens and we come out and they're just like
They don't speak for 25 years. 2020 doc series, 10 parts.
Well, there you go. There's another slice of the glove box pie.
Well, you actually mentioned Monopoly in your last episode. You alluded to it.
Because I think it was a stolen brand. I think a lady made it in a man's...
We will get there.
Snake eyes.
It had been on my list for a long time to talk about. And board games, it just kind of like feels of the holiday season. I know we've played Monopoly.
I only remember playing Monopoly once. It got down to David and me. Mm-hmm. I won. I feel like I never win that game.
Really?
We played Clue and I won. Mm-hmm. I'm just really good at games.
I'm for some reason really bad at Clue, and I don't know why, because I'm not like the best at games, but I feel I have like a grasp of them. I'm not somebody who like tunes out and like doesn't get board games or doesn't care about winning. I really like them. For some reason, Clue, I'll like, you know how you have your little system with like the checks? I get like one off of something, and then I'm like, oh gosh, what do I do now? Okay, well, I have a fee. I start to go with my gut, which isn't right.
Yeah, no, Clue is very like you're looking for what people don't have.
Process of elimination. I know, but it's like if you lose one, if one is wrong, it's like, what can you trust?
I know.
Everything falls apart. But Monopoly, we've played a ton of over the years. I think you took a stand against it. It wasn't your preferred game.
I don't remember us ever, like literally that one time. That was not in our main rotation, unless you guys play when I'm not here.
Well, when we, like back in the day when we lived in our old house, when I first met David, Monopoly was when we would play board games until like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And I remember a game of Risk, where walking up the driveway, I heard David pounding on the floor. I heard him before I saw him going like 6, 6, 6, wanting to like roll a 6, but it sounded like the devil had entered the home.
Jesus.
And Monopoly we played so often and with such fury that the police were called one time.
What are you talking about?
I'm
this
serious.
Feels fake.
No, this is true. Ask David, ask Al, because we were yelling and fighting so much.
See, that was the thing about our game.
This is why you didn't play Monopoly, because it was a fighty game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the fights I could take, each of us had different. David and Matthew never minded the fight. No. Alistair and I, there were certain fights we just didn't want to be a part of.
Sure.
And that was probably one of mine. And I just find it to be such a long game.
It's long.
And I think I'm
intense.
frugal with money, so I don't like to have to give $100 for a beauty
canonically
pageant.
Being frugal with money. You want to canonically be known as frugal with money?
Well, you mean because I buy... this goes with the you know me, you don't understand me thing.
Sure.
Like, someone will ask me to go to dinner. It's like, no, I don't want to spend $20 on enchiladas. I'm happy to spend $20 on a signed CD.
Or a Peep.
Or, sure, that's a great deal. Those were $35. I got them for $17.
6.
I got 3. Of the giant ones. The small ones, 14, I think. So Monopoly.
So you think you're
Monopoly.
You're too frugal to enjoy Monopoly.
I mean, I was just throwing something out there. Sure, now it's like, who knows?
It's a different type of game. You are really good at games. You're very smart, and you do.
I'm not looking to...
No, I'm not just saying that. It's not because I feel like board games are really. We call our Friday night hang game night, and we play games much less than we used to. It used to be like every Friday we'd play a board game, and we would have like rotating players. People would come in. I was like, oh, my other friend is gonna stop by and join. And there's some people who like as soon as a Monopoly game comes out, or we played a lot of Settlers of Catan, or even like a party game, like a Pictionary. People are just kind of like, you see their eyes glaze over. They're like in another world. They're like so checked out.
It's like when someone randomly pulls out a guitar and you're like, oh boy, here we go.
Tuning out.
Like, who did they? Okay.
And I think a similar thing happened where they were like, oh, I like games. Can I come to game night? And we would be like, yeah. And then they come and it's like 3 people arguing, screaming. Imagine the look on the police officer's face when he's like, I heard a noise complaint, and he walks in the door, and it's like these dorks like laying on a rug surrounding a Monopoly board, like truly at their wits' end, like actual arguments where like somebody has to like, I remember we would make fun of David because I think it was a Monopoly argument where David got so mad at our friend Matt, rest in peace, that David goes, I have to go read Huffington Post. That really puts that really timestamps it, like Huffington Post. He was like so steaming. He's like, I'm just going to go read Huffington Post.
So this is 2010, 2011.
Very 2010, yeah.
I feel like there's like a meta thing here. They got so mad during Monopoly. One of them killed the other one with a Monopoly game. They're for creating a game of Clue. And we have to figure out it was so-and-so with a Monopoly game in the avocado apartment.
We'll have to wait for the Clue episode to come out for us to really know the origins of that game.
Wow.
Yeah,
I can't believe
really
who
cool.
called the cops? Probably
like a
me.
neighbor.
It's probably me.
You think it was you in the bathroom?
I just like text him.
Can you end this any way possible?
Want to watch Sex in the City? Get over here now. That's really funny.
Yeah,
I've
it
never
was a
had
fun
cops
time.
called on me. But
Never?
No.
Oh.
What would I ever have cops called on me for?
I don't know.
There is this might be too long of a story to tell. I'll try to cliff note it. The one time I apparently was supposed to have coffee with someone, but I thought I had canceled it, and we went out of town for one night. They thought I had died because they, for whatever reason, so convinced that I had died. Also because my car was in the driveway because you guys drove.
I feel like I might.
They had
turned into a detective.
Firemen come to my home and break into my kitchen window to make sure I was not dead in the apartment.
Yeah. Wellness check.
Did a wellness check.
Better safe than sorry. Wellness check.
And then I think they felt embarrassed about it, and I never.
Well, it also kind of reveals like how much your friends are like worried about you, where it's like they think that you're like so sad or unhealthy that they were like, well,
clearly
you weren't
make
just
it through the night.
You weren't just like playing in the snow with your friends.
Well, and the crazy thing is, I think that was the weekend that we did the Stranger Things.
Our Follies. That's right.
We went away for one night up in the mountains, and when you're up in the mountains, you don't get phone reception. On the way down, you would get reception on your phone for like 4 seconds, and then it would go away. So in like the first 4 seconds, it'd be like, you have 84 messages. And I'm like,
scary.
What the hell? Yeah. And then I could only listen to a couple seconds, and they'd be like, John, are you... I'm really worried. And it was like that for like an hour.
This is Officer Steven.
It was.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And like your window had been pried open by a hot firefighter? Probably.
I was alone with the hot
Firefighters are hot.
Oh my gosh.
Like, why? But why are they?
Because they have to work for like 72 hours straight.
I know, but like...
That means you have to be hot. You know what's not hot? An old fireman.
Oh, yes.
Just
True.
to stay with
just to stay
No,
with
I'm
your
sure
character.
they're hot too. All right, I feel like we've really gone off topic. I want to get
We're having a great time.
You know, the thing about Monopoly.
Sure.
I wonder if it's the Slytherin in me. Like, Monopoly, you can't win alone, usually. You have to work with people.
Very interesting.
And I like to be in control of my destiny.
I'm sure that's part of it. Yeah.
So it's giving away money for things that don't matter, going to jail, having a dog and an iron, and working with people.
Sure. This is like a list of your least favorite things.
All the things I hate put into a game.
That's a really good theory. Yeah, it does require trading. It was really, really hard. like nearly impossible to win the game on your own.
I mean, if I get Boardwalk, I don't want to give that away. And someone has Park Place. I'm like,
What are you
well,
gonna do?
I'll give you 2 oranges and a red, and you give me just that one Boardwalk. I'm like, no, that's like a signed Taylor CD.
Totally. It's so rare.
And then you get that. Everyone hits that every time around. I'm now giving you $1,400 for rent.
You're stewing. The thing you gave away is now making somebody else rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
This
they
is your nightmare.
increased the rents?
For inflation?
Is it still only $30 rent at Charleston Charge Place?
Charleston too. Yeah, it's
$60.
I mean, it's so. I'm sure there's like a modern cost version, an inflation version, but it's largely a couple names of streets have changed.
Really?
Yes.
I'm excited to learn that. I feel like if they were to make it with modern day, they would have to now include a $5,000 bill, and just the whole box would just be full of money.
Yeah, and they probably have a 2025 version. There are literally at least. I mean, they don't even know how many versions there are. That's what's so crazy. The estimates are between like 1,000 and 3,000 or more. Like they don't even have track of how many licenses that there are of official Monopoly.
I personally have, for someone that doesn't even care that much about the game.
That's a good question. How many Monopolies do you have?
I have Cincinnati, which I think was a bootleg. I don't think that was an official.
It might be official because they do have official licensing with cities.
It looks boot. I have the Millennium Edition that my mom got us all.
Cute.
It came in a metal tin with like a plastic thing around it, very of the time.
Cute.
I have like what are the pieces called? Are they tokens?
Pieces? Game.
I want to say they're tokens.
Maybe all tokens?
I have like Oops All Tokens. It comes with like all the tokens they've ever made. I think
fine.
there's
Yeah,
40 game pieces in it because of course that's what I like because they're like charms.
They're charms. That was the inspiration for them was the guy's daughter's charm bracelet.
That's why I would like those. I have, I think, a Simpsons Monopoly.
Probably.
I think a Muppets Monopoly that I got this year from Buy Nothing. And then I was sad because the Kermit piece was the only piece missing and would have been the only piece I would have wanted.
Did you get it so that you could turn those pieces into charms for your charm
Just to
charm
have
bracelet?
them. Just like I'm getting free little metal Muppets? Sure. And then Kermit's not in there? Bah. What did that person do? They're like, I'll give this away, but I'm keeping this.
I'm keeping Kermit.
And I had for a while was playing like Monopoly on the go back when apps were really big on the phone, like a Monopoly game.
Based on this, I
love Monopoly. hard on brand. I just don't like.
I only own one copy of Monopoly. So I guess you're the true Monopoly fan.
Really says a lot about us.
It really, really does.
Well, I'm excited to learn all about these games that I have so many of.
That you're such a huge fan of. If anybody's listening, what?
And I have one that I got in a estate sale like 4 years ago that came out between. You may have this in your research, and if I'm blowing it, I'm sorry.
No,
there was
okay.
like a 3-year period during like World War II where they weren't allowed to use metal, as we've learned during World War II. So what they did was took game pieces from random games and put that in. So I have like 6 little wooden pieces. It's like one piece from Sorry.
That's awesome.
That Parker Brothers had put in there because they weren't allowed to make new metal pieces. And I do think that is super cool.
That is so cool.
And that was back when you would get the Monopoly box was very small. And the board, I think you would either get the board separately or was folded up and also to be very small. But I do love that old vintage Monopoly. I do love their graphics.
That is a really special find. Yeah, the graphics are awesome. And they've been, for most of the game's history, the graphics have been largely unchanged.
Yeah.
For anybody listening who maybe you've heard of Monopoly, maybe you've never played it. God, is there anybody here like listening, like some 19-year-old who's never played Monopoly? That seems hard to believe, but
Mr. Moneybags leans up towards the speaker of his podcast. Is that his name?
Oh, I'll get to it. I'll get to it because I was talking about the guy who made it. So Monopoly is a multiplayer economics-themed board game. So players will roll 2 dice. Later on, a speed die was added, which is used in the official championship games, which I think is pretty not legit. To move around a game board, you're buying, you're trading properties, you're developing them with houses and hotels, and you collect rent from your opponents when they land on your properties with the goal of driving them into bankruptcy. You can gain money or lose money through the chance and community chest cards. There's tax squares. You get a salary every time you pass go, and you can end up in jail. You cannot move unless you have rolled a double or you can pay a fine to exit. There's so many house rules. A lot of people will have like a pot in the middle that everybody chips into and then you can collect that. There's like so many personalized variations. And I'm sure if you're listening, I'm so curious to hear what everybody's family rules are because even from the inception of this game, it was one that was kind of meant to be personalized and adapted to your own family. Thousands of different editions. As we said, you named a few that you have. for cities, for franchises, collaborations, tie-ins. Every brand has done a Monopoly.
Probably like Uno Monopoly, Monopoly Uno.
There
everything
are
combines.
So many. Like the Wikipedia list of all of them, the first one on the Wikipedia list is .com Monopoly. And this came out during the .com boom. Like just to show you how obscure the Monopoly games go.
One of my biggest regrets with my Simpsons one, it came with the 6 metal pieces, but you could mail away for 4 more.
And you didn't?
I regret. I mean, it was probably 99 cents and...
Sure.
Why?
Maybe it's on eBay.
Yeah, now they're like $49 to get the rare pieces.
And you're quite frugal.
I don't care that much. I'm frugal with money.
True. It's in more than 113 countries. It's printed in more than 46 languages. And as I said in the intro, it's sold probably now at this point over 300 million copies worldwide. So it is not the most popular board game ever that will go to like checkers or chess or games that people have been playing for hundreds of years, but it is the most popular modern board game.
And there's slot machines for it. They have done a very good job about staying in the pop culture eye.
Yes, for sure. And over the past 10 years or so, they have been trying to license a Monopoly movie. It has bopped around to different studios currently.
How could they?
I feel like Margot Robbie's production company is working on a Monopoly movie.
It seems like if they could make Battleship, they could make Monopoly.
It's in the works as of this year. But it's been going on for so long. Who knows if we'll ever see a Monopoly movie in our lifetime? But there have been game shows. There's been cartoons. It's so many spinoffs. It's been so licensable, so licensed that it's just become like a total larger than life behemoth.
Did you have a favorite piece growing up? I always wanted to be the puppy. And our puppy had a gimp leg, so he couldn't stand very well.
That sounds rare. The Scotty dog is the most popular piece by far.
By far.
I favored the thimble.
Okay, because you're a fisherman's wife.
Yeah, and I'm mending my husband's socks.
You want to mend socks while I sit by the fire stroking my Scottish puppy.
That actually does.
Got it.
Monopoly is real. How you feel about it? It's very revealing.
Yeah, it's really it's definitely branding you and me.
It really is. Okay, so if you read the inside of the Monopoly box, it will reference the history of the board game, and this is what it will say. In 1934, Charles B. Darrow of Germantown, Pennsylvania, presented a game called Monopoly to the executives of Parker Brothers. Mr. Darrow, like many other Americans, was unemployed and often played this game to amuse himself and pass the time. It was the game's exciting promise of fame and fortune that initially prompted Darrow to produce the game on his own. There's one problem with this story, John. It is not true. Hasbro, the current owner of Monopoly, sticks to this story. They make no mention of any other origin of Monopoly, yet now it is widely documented. We have plenty of evidence, a lot of exposure to the truth. The truth always comes to light.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I know what the name of it is, and it's driving me crazy.
We'll get there.
I know.
The story starts with Lizzie Magie, and she was born in Macomb, Illinois in 1866. Fun fact about Macomb, Illinois, they now have a Macomopoly festival in their town because it is the birthplace of Lizzie Magie, where the entire town square, which is kind of shaped like a Monopoly board, turns into like a living Monopoly game.
That's fun.
They're very proud of this history. They have a sculpture of her.
The alternate history, the
not true history.
I think I remember the name of the game.
Yeah, so if that's a place you live near, it looked fun. If I lived in Illinois, I definitely want to go check this out.
Yeah.
So she was born in 1866. Her father was a newspaper publisher and an abolitionist who accompanied Abraham Lincoln as he traveled around Illinois before he was elected. So her family is very politically active. They're really encouraging her to get a great education, which isn't very common at the time. In 1890, Lizzie is 24. Her family settles in Washington, D.C., where Lizzie continues to learn. She becomes a feminist. She has radical ideas like women are equal to men. They should be paid the same for doing the same work. At this time, it is quite radical for her to not just be seeking a husband and starting a family and being a homemaker.
What year is this?
This is in 1890.
1890.
So this is a long time ago. Where was this on our timeline?
2 years after Sarah Josepha Hale was born.
I mean, honestly, it wouldn't have shocked me if this was Sarah Josepha Hale in this story. They would have been best friends.
They would? Clearly, they're hanging out with Abe Lincoln, too, and she's the one that wrote Abe Lincoln to say, do Thanksgiving.
I wonder if they ever met.
I wonder, yeah.
Wow.
Well, she would have been a baby for 24-year-old.
Maybe she babysat her.
Isn't
that funny? Do you remember that when you would be growing up and you're like a teenager or like a 20-year-old and somebody you meet this like old lady who's like, I used to babysit you. And it's like, okay.
Fun fact, I don't remember ever being babysat.
Really?
Never.
Never?
Never. I don't remember one time someone came to our house and watched us.
Wow.
I think mostly our mom was around most of the time, but it was also a different time.
It was a different time. You had older siblings too.
I did have older siblings. Yeah, I don't think I ever had a babysitter.
Could be connected to your past life, blacked out.
Maybe.
So at age 26, she was working as a stenographer, and she actually created a machine piece that would more easily feed paper to go through the rolls on a typewriter. So at age 26, she got a patent for her invention. At this time, women were credited with less than 1% of all patents. So this just kind of shows you the type of lady she is. She dreams it. She does it. This is how she was raised. It's like you can achieve anything that you can dream.
We love a powerful woman.
We love a powerful woman. Lizzie, at the time, she's becoming even more politically active. She's spending her nights going to lectures and speaking to them herself about her progressive values. And she wants this power to the people message to reach the masses. But how? At the turn of the 20th century, board games are becoming increasingly commonplace in middle-class homes. To Lizzie, the problems of the new century, they're so vast. The income inequalities are so massive. The monopolies are becoming so mighty. To her,
what?
The monopolies?
I'm sorry.
Remember that word. That's going to come back later.
Okay. I'm going to put a pin in that for now.
Put a pin in that. Put that on the back burner. But keep one eye to it because it might make another appearance.
Wait, like this?
It's put it right on the tip of your nose and look at it for the next hour.
I'm going to watch it while you read.
She thinks it's impossible that a young woman who's working as a stenographer stood a chance at speaking up to power with something as trivial as a board game. But she had to try.
Listen, not to go off topic. That's not what this show's about.
That's not what this is about.
Stenographers. What the is that? What the is that?
Aren't they typing during a court?
They are, but have you ever seen their machines?
It's like four letters.
Like 3 candy bars. They're just tapping these candy bars, and it like says everything that we need to say.
Cannot imagine that is with everything technology can do now. I mean, I saw one of those self-driving cars for the first time yesterday. I nearly hopped out of my boots.
For the first time?
For the first time.
I see them like 3 times a day now.
I don't get out much. It was just like walking past a car with no driver. I'm like, it's like that clip of the Today Show where Katie Couric's talking about like, what is the internet? The way I was feeling looking at this car, I was like a time traveler. I felt so scared.
I think we all do. I was behind 2 cars waiting for a car to turn. I was like, oh, what is taking them so long to turn? The car that was turning was a no driver car. And I was like,
terrible.
Who am I mad at now?
Who are you mad at?
And I'm assuming they're doing it the right way because they're not going to like
break the law.
There
should be like a little like neon sign that like can flip other drivers off in the Waymo.
I want to be able to still make robots feel bad.
Sure.
Ugh.
To think that we live in a time of the Waymo, the self-driving car, and that stenographers are still typing on 3 candy bars.
Tapping on a Hershey, like a Hershey bar.
It's like a Hershey. It's like
a zero bar. It's like a white 0 bar. Yes. 4 0 bars.
It is so weird. If any stenographers are listening, please write to us. What the hell are you doing back there?
I've even watched videos on what they're doing, and I'm still like, what?
It's a new language.
It's like squiggles and squaggles and dips and dops.
Well, that just goes to show you. I feel like you have to be really smart to be able to do that. Hieroglyphics.
Oh, I hope we do have a stenographer listening. They're like, Thank you.
I feel seen.
They take a bite into their candy bar.
In the middle of a court hearing. Damn it.
Did he do it or not? I don't know. I'm tapping candy bars.
I ate my tippies. So she decides to build this game, and night after night, after her work at the stenographer's office is done, she sits in her house, she's drawing, she's redrawing, she's thinking, she's tinkering.
She's drunk, she's redrawing.
I mean, knowing her, a modern woman, she probably had a little nip of port.
She's not scared of port.
She's not scared. She invents not just a game, but a structure of a game. This is the first game on record where the pieces travel around a board in a continuous loop.
First one.
The first one. Previously, if there were games, it would have like a beginning and an end, like a Candyland. It has like a point A and a point B. This kind of infinite loop that goes round and round and round had never been done before.
And it's not common now. I don't think most games have an infinite loop. I mean, the game of life has an ending. Boy, does it.
Boy, you said a mouthful there.
Wow.
Wow.
That was not planned. The game of life.
The game of life.
Has an ending. Merch.
Hey, on-brand version of Monopoly, that'd be awesome.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Someday we'll get there.
Yeah.
So this is a game.
You buy companies, you buy brands.
Yes, that would be great.
That'd be really good.
This game was intended to educate and entertain, and it would show the players the risks, dangers, and realities of greedy monopolies in a society. And that game was called the Landlord's Game. It did
come to me, yeah.
So Maggie believed that the Landlord's Game would show the world as it is and might hopefully inspire reforms. She's quoted to say, "It is a practical demonstration of the present system of land grabbing with all its usual outcomes and consequences. It might well have been called the game of life, as it contains all the elements of success and failure in the real world. And the object of the game is the same as the human race in general seems to have, the accumulation of wealth." Wow. She's reading us to filth, as the drag queens would say.
I love quoting the drag queens. I love that she thought this game, like, people are going to be like, you know what? We are charging them too much rent. You know what? They should be able to buy an electric company. You know what? Sell them the whole railroad.
No one's ever offered me the opportunity to buy a railroad, so I don't know how true to life it is.
I gotta say, railroads were always one of my favies, even though you can't put houses or hotels on
They would get landed on a lot. You have your B&O. You have your reading.
What?
What?
What? It's Reading Railroad.
Are you sure?
Well, in Ohio, we have a neighborhood called Reading, so that's just what I always thought it was.
You know what's funny? It might just be whatever you have a place near you, how you pronounce it. Because didn't you ever hear somebody like who came to LA for the first time, and instead of Rodeo Drive, they say Rodeo Drive?
Or instead of La Brea, they say La Brea. That's like when you read Harry Potter before the movie came out, and you're like, who's Hermione? Yeah, you just don't always know.
Ron Weasley? That doesn't sound right.
We were doing this in school when we were young once. We were doing, like, do you say roof? This is probably, I think this was middle school. Maybe early high school. And we were like, this is how boring we were. Like, how do you say roof? Do you say roof or roof?
This is like no one was like playing online gambling on their smartphones.
No one was online gambling or sending dick pics in class. Exactly. We were talking about how we pronounce words.
Sure.
And then we're like, do you say bologna or bologna? And then one girl was like, do you say pillow or pielio? And we were like, her name was Darlene. We're like, let's
not sit next to
not hang
Darlene.
out with Darlene anymore. Go to sleep on your pielio.
I wonder what Darlene's doing up now. I wonder if she's in the Discord.
I hope so. I hope she's part of our community.
So Lizzie's game, the Landlord's Game, it has play money. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Play money and deeds and properties that can be bought and sold. Yes. Players borrowed money either from the bank or from each other. They had to pay taxes. In one corner was, this is fun, this is a little bit different, the poorhouse and the public park. Across the board is the jail. She had 9 rectangular spaces along the edges of the board between each set of corners. In the center of each 9-space grouping was a railroad with spaces for rent or sale on either side, services such as water and electricity. And as gamers made their way around the board, they would earn wages, so they would get $100 after they passed the starting place. So this is
$100 in the turn of the century. Wait, what year are we in?
This is 1904.
Okay, Titanic hasn't even happened. $100 back then is like probably $10,000 now.
It's probably $10,000 now.
That's a lot.
I mean, a year of wages, maybe.
Wow.
Maybe. Players who trespassed on land were sent to jail, and then if you had to go to jail, you had to pay your fine of $50, or you had to serve out your time and try to get a double roll. She says the rallying and chafing of the others when one player finds himself an inmate in jail, and the expressions of mock sympathy and condolence when one is obliged to betake himself to the poorhouse, make a large part of the fun and merriment of the game. So she knew that it was going to be a little bit of a squabbly game.
How can you not squabble when it comes to money and real estate? Now, when it comes to jail, would you... Sometimes I didn't mind chilling in jail.
Oh, depending if you're about to come up on a big row of houses that you don't want to land on.
Sometimes staying in jail is the way to go.
Sometimes it's the blessing of a lifetime.
Roll 2 6s, you jump past that whole thing. Mm-hmm. Some people like to pay and get out right away. I do like that it has not updated. I mean, obviously, what we play is different than what she made, but they're all kind of similar. But that they haven't, like, we don't live in a world where railroads are... on our thoughts every day. Yeah. We don't live in a world where I don't know anyone that goes to jail. Like, that's not like a default of anything.
Or like an electric company. Yeah, it's very much of like another time.
You're the closest I would know to anyone that's been in a beauty pageant because you've done catalog modeling.
And I don't think I won $50.
You definitely did not get $50. No. I think you did it for free.
I think I did it for free for the free haircut.
Who wouldn't?
After years of tinkering, writing, perfecting her creation, Leslie's now 38. And I was wrong. It's 1903, not 1904. And she entered the U.S. Patent Office on the 23rd of March, 1903, to secure her legal claim to the landlord's game. At least 2 years later, she published a version of the game through the Economic Game Company, very sensible name for a company, a New York-based firm that counted Lizzie as a part owner. So she's kind of found I imagine it's a pretty small publisher of this game. It's still very local at this point. 1910, Lizzie's in her 40s. She gets married, and there is not a ton of history about her personal life for the next 14 years, but it's believed that the game became popular with intellectuals on college campuses, and it started to just kind of take on a life of its own. In 1924, the original patent for the game expires, and Lizzie didn't renew it. Games at this time were not very mass-produced, so she had this small publisher, very small scale. Board games were still considered to be kind of a luxury. So you had to be pretty well off to be able to afford a board game.
That's silly. They should be cheap for everybody.
Don't you think they should? I mean, it's all just paper, but it was a different time. Families would often make their own rules, draw their own version of the game. So you go to someone's house, you see the game, and then you copy it on a piece of paper and you bring that home with you. That was a really common way that people would find the game in their home.
I'm still doing that today. People are like, Jon, just let us buy you a Monopoly game. No, I've got
frugal.
it. I'm frugal. So this is Park Place. I picked a different blue. It goes with my eyes.
In 1924, Lizzie decides to put out a new patent for an improved version of the game. This one can be played two ways. One would be the anti-Monopoly game. So you can put all the money into a pot in the middle and share the wealth.
I like
And
that.
the other is a version of the game that we know today where you try to buy properties and charge rent. You can imagine which one became more popular for people to play, the one where that's meaner. On January 1st, 1933, a man named Charles B. Darrow, do you remember this name from the beginning of the story? And his wife Esther went to a dinner party with Esther's Quaker friends. I have heard two different names of what these couples' names are. Their Quaker friends were either named Cyril and Ruth Harvey or Charles and Olive Todd. It's funny that I've heard this identical story with both of these couples, and I'm like, which one is it? I'm dying to know. They had a homemade version of this game that everybody had called the Monopoly game. Even though it was technically called the Landlord's Game, everybody for shorthand called it the Monopoly game because that's what it was. This couple, either Cyril and Ruth or Charles and Olive, had customized the squares to be names of streets in Atlantic City that their friends and neighbors lived on. This includes Marvin Gardens, which is misspelled from the actual street in Atlantic City. It's supposed to be Marven Gardens. That's the actual name. Mm-hmm. They misspelled it Marvin Gardens. It is still spelled that way on the board today.
Wow.
So
Wrong.
Charles Darrow, he liked the game so much, he asked for some rules. He made a copy of the board. He's copied the incorrect spelling of Marvin Gardens that the Quakers had misspelled on the game when they originally drew it up.
So she didn't have street names on hers.
She did, but they were generic. It was like Easy Street. Like it was just generic city names. So this was like a version of how people could customize it. Like you could make one for your neighborhood and you kind of add like the streets that you know that you live on. That was very common at the time. But so all these streets were named after Atlantic City, which is as the game we know and love today. Yeah. This is during the Depression. Charles Darrow, he's broke. He takes the game. He creates a rule book. He produces game boards. He makes illustrations. He hires Franklin Osborne Alexander, known professionally as F.O. Alexander. He was a comic strip and an editorial cartoonist. And he hired him to design the board game Monopoly, including the mascots. So that includes Officer Edgar Mallory, who is the go-to-jail officer, Jake the Jailbird, and Milburn Pennybags. Milburn Pennybags. Milburn Pennybags is the subject of a Mandela effect. Many people think he has a monocle. He does not. The Monopoly man does not have a monocle. Never has. Never will.
I probably would have thought he had a monocle if you had asked me at the beginning of the...
I think people get him mixed up with Mr. Peanut.
Yeah. They're best friends. I mean, it's easy to get them.
Best friends or possibly more.
Let's just say
they have the same taste for the finer things in life.
Let's just say there's more than one connector in that relationship.
Okay. Yeah, let's just say that. I think we'll just say that.
Something like that.
So Charles offers to sell this game to Parker Brothers. They Decline.
Oh, I thought they were going to love it.
No, they
I thought
declined.
they were going to love it. They're
Isn't
like,
that
nah,
fun when
nope.
that happens?
Like, life is hard enough. Who was going to sit around and make it harder?
This is your classic life lesson. If somebody says no, keep doing it. It's guaranteed to be a success.
Guaranteed.
He produces the game himself. He sells it in shopping centers. It becomes a hit. People are loving it.
This is Elf on a Shelf. This is the same thing.
It's a very similar story. You hear a no and then you self-produce and then it's like, well, maybe that's actually a yes. That's what happened with Parker Brothers. They revisited Charles. Now they want to buy the game. They discover as they're trying to like patent it and get it like legally protected, oh, Lizzie already has a patent on the game in 1904 and 1924. So Parker Brothers goes to Lizzie and they say, we really like your game. In fact, oh, you have other games that you want us to buy? Yeah, we'd love to buy those too. How does, let's say for the Landlord's game, if your other like 2 little games.
Bunch of money,
how
right?
How does $500 sound and no royalties?
Well, $500 in 1924. I mean, that's probably a lot of money. No royalties?
No.
I want 10%.
Royalties. The game starts to take off in the
mid-30s.
Says yes?
She
says yes because she was tricked. The game takes off in the mid-1930s. The company bought up other rights to other similar games to preserve their territory, to prevent competition. And at first, Lizzie did not suspect the true motives for the purchase of her game. She thought that they were going to make good on their offer. They were going to produce this game. They were going to buy her other games she had ideas for. When a prototype of Parker Brothers' version of the Landlord game arrived at her home in Arlington, she was delighted. She wrote a letter to Foster Parker, nephew of George and the company's treasurer, and she wrote him that there had been a song in her heart ever since the game arrived. Someday I hope you will publish other games of mine, but I don't think any of them will be as much trouble to you or as important to me as this one. Shock to her, she doesn't see a dime. Eventually, the truth dawns on her. She became very publicly angry. In January of 1936, she gave interviews to the Washington Post and the Washington Evening Star. And in a picture accompanying the Evening Star piece, she held up game boards from the Landlord's game and another game that had the word Monopoly written across its center 4 times. And on the table in front of her was the common like Darrow board, the one that was from the Parker Brothers box, to show the similarities to the public, because how else are people going to know that she's the one who is the original inventor?
So when you say she didn't get a dime, she got her initial $500.
She got $500,
So
yes.
why did she think she was getting more than that?
They gave her a verbal deal that this would be the beginning of like a long relationship. Yeah. So like, sure, we're going to get this one, but then any other game idea you have, they bought 2 of her other game ideas and then like just threw them out basically. So she couldn't even make them as part of that 500. And she was misled to believe that this was like the beginning of now like a relationship.
Got it.
Yeah. So she was duped and she was very angry, but she's very smart and very savvy and not going to back down. So she took to the media to kind of put them on blast. Because
there's no internet. She has to go to the newspaper.
She had to go to the newspaper with like pictures of her in her living room with like her homemade game. She's very angry. She's very hurt. She wants revenge against the company. And Parker Brothers, they had the rights to the 1924 patented Landlord's game, but they did not tell the story of her game invention dating back to 1904, or that the game had been in public domain for decades. The Evening Star reporter wrote that Lizzie's game did not get the popular hold it has today. It took Charles B. Darrow, a Philadelphia engineer who retrieved the game from the oblivion of the patent office and dressed it up a bit to get it going. Could Parker Brothers have gone to Lizzie? Sure. Why did they need Charles Darrow? His was already kind of packaged. He had the illustrations. It was kind of ready to go. It was like plug and play. He was a man. It fit. Everybody was really excited to just like thrust him into success. And he became quite the millionaire.
I don't understand people that take other people's things. Like,
Sure.
Didn't this happen? And I don't remember enough about him to know. I could be wrong. But I feel like this happened with McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they kind of got like... But then also, I feel like with that one, maybe they wouldn't have been able to take it where...
It's similar. It's like, would Lizzie have gone to Parker Brothers? I don't know, but she certainly was entitled for...
She should have definitely gotten royalties, especially if this was her idea from the get-go.
So at the end of the day, after the lawyers, the printing of her own game, the patent office fees, the game cost her more than she ever made from it. Much to her dismay, the other 2 games she invented for Parker Brothers, they were called Kingsmen and Bargain Day. They gave her very little publicity. They faded into oblivion. I mean, wouldn't that be such a fun thing to have? An original Bargain Day board game.
I was wondering if that
10 copies only made.
If that turned into Payday.
That'd be funny. They did a version of the Landlord's game that they made a very short run of, and it was so different because they didn't want it to compete with Monopoly. So it doesn't even look, it looks like more like an island among like water. It's like not even the same like travel around the edge of the board because they wanted to create a lot of distance between her invention and what they were selling.
But I guess what I've never understood with anything is like why can't you share the wealth? Like why can't she just get a little bit of the pie? Like why is it always feel like it's always like all or nothing? Let's just be villains. And
especially because Charles Darrow got so rich, he did become a millionaire many times over from this. It's like she could also fair share.
Become
you
very
both can
rich
be millionaires.
You can both have it.
In 1947, Lizzie was treated for heart disease. She passed away a year later. She was a widow with no children, whose obituary and headstone made no mention of her game invention. One of her last jobs was at the U.S. Office of Education, where her colleagues knew her only as an elderly typist who talked about once inventing games. That sends a chill down my spine. As Charles Darrow reaped the rewards of the game's success, millions of dollars in royalties, her role in the invention of Monopoly remained quite obscure, lost to history. But in 1973, Ralph Anspach, who was a left-wing academic who was under legal attack from Parker Brothers over his creation of an anti-monopoly game. So he tried to come out with his own game, and then Parker Brothers is coming down on him for copyright infringement. He's researching the case and the patent history of the Monopoly game. He learned her story as he was researching his defense case, seeking to undermine the company's hold on the intellectual property of Monopoly. His case lasted a decade, and in the end, they settled and he did fine. But in the process, he was able to put Lizzie's role in the game invention to light for the first time ever.
And what year was this?
This was in 1973.
Okay.
So for her life, she died in 1948.
Yeah. She
never saw any recognition publicly on any scale. And then it wasn't until the 70s when her role in the game was now beyond dispute. We have such an incredible, extraordinary archive of material, patent images of her original game. I'll post them for our supplementals. There's no question that this is the same game.
Right.
So now that is finally in the public consciousness for the first time ever. But Hasbro, the company that Parker Brothers is now a subsidiary of, still downplays Lizzie's status. If you request for comment, they say Hasbro credits the official Monopoly game produced and played today to Charles Darrow. And even in 2015 on Hasbro's website, a timeline of the game's history begins in 1935.
Wow, trash.
What do they have to gain?
What do they have to gain?
By not mentioning it. It's
you can't
crazy.
Erase history.
It's not even up for dispute or debate. We can see it. We can see her holding up her game. It's like exactly the same.
And they could come forward with it at this point because it's not like she even has heirs.
She's not owed anything.
They're not going to be like, well, their heirs are going to come after us for money. There's no one to come after you. Just own up to it.
Just give her the credit at least.
Celebrate her.
Celebrate her at least in death. So
make her one of the little game pieces.
That would be really cute.
That would be iconic.
She is, among Monopoly fans, her role in the game's creation is widely acknowledged. So it's really weird that they're like taking this like firm line without refusing to even mention her name. They're disgusted by her.
Wow.
Hasbro acquired Parker Brothers and thus Monopoly in 1991. Before the acquisition, Parker Brothers was the publisher. They only had two versions at the time, a regular and a deluxe. When Hasbro moved in, they were like, what are we doing? License this thing to the gills. And that was when Monopoly really took off with all the variations that you're talking about. The first one was the USA-opoly, which was a San Diego edition of Monopoly. And then once that came out, it was like, oh, we can do this for literally every major city, every brand, every TV show, Star Trek, Simpsons, Friends, everything you could ever imagine that has a license could have a Monopoly version because it's so like interchangeable, all the names of the squares, the pieces.
Yeah, it's tailored to be in different areas.
Exactly. So it's so perfect. Hasbro announced in 2021 they were going to update the community cards chest with ones that would be more socially aware, inviting fans of the game to vote on new versions.
Never let the fans vote. They did that with the tokens too. They're like, we're going to get... It's like when Eminem got rid of like a color. This is exactly
what happened. Yes, the thimble was taken out, replaced with a T-Rex, which was phased out.
At one point there was a cat got in there somehow. A cat
was in there, exactly, yes.
Good Lord, don't let the people choose.
They've done a lot of that, a lot of weighing in to breathe some life into this old property. As I said, there's been video games, game shows, Monopoly movie attempts, countless collaborations. The McDonald's Monopoly game, maybe their most famous tie-in, where you peel off the thing on the side of the cup and stick it on your Monopoly board that you have at home. We've definitely got a lot of those Monopoly game pieces over the years.
There's a huge documentary about that because that became a huge scandal.
Right? The people who worked there had the cups.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They were able to they were basically giving their friends here's $1 million. You go cash this in.
Crazy.
It was insane.
Now it's probably like a QR code in the app.
Oh, I did it. They recently brought it back for the first time in years, and I was doing it because you didn't have to buy anything. I probably ended up with... I got so much free stuff in
really? Like a free small fry?
I got I didn't even get around to using them all. I had 8 small fries. I had some breakfast sandwiches. I had double cheeseburgers. I had drinks. I had just endless free stuff because you were allowed to get 5 free tickets a day without buying anything, and each ticket had 2 chances. So it was I was just raking in.
Well, at least they were good giveaways.
They were.
It wasn't just free drink if you spend $40.
No, it was straight up free.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beloved game. I have some fond memories of playing that when it was the physical game board with the peel-offs.
Oh, I loved the physical
game board.
Fun.
That was really fun. The original board pieces, as I said, they were inspired by Charles's niece. They were created to resemble figures on her charm bracelet. The originals are the top hat, thimble, iron boot, battleship, and cannon, with the race car and a purse added shortly thereafter. The items were chosen because they represented wealth, the spectrum of wealth. You have the iron for the housewife and the purse for the top hat for the rich lady and the fancy man. It was meant to kind of represent all walks of daily life. Mm-hmm. Though early versions sometimes just use household items like buttons before these metal tokens became standard.
Yeah, right? Because then the first one's not come with anything. You just use things
what you had, yeah. And there was a period where they were made out of wood because of metal production was scarce at different times in history. The pieces have changed over the years, as you said. By 1942, the lantern, purse, and rocking horse were discontinued. 2000, the cannons phased out. 2013, the iron's out. 2017, the boot and the thimble are out. Which is it's to try to make this modern and cool.
Those are
funny.
Those are a fun purchase at an estate sales. You can buy an 80s Monopoly game for $1 and get those original
pieces.
Just for those pieces.
I bet they were heavier too. I bet now they're half plastic.
And then there's the Millennium hit, and then it's now they have a cell phone. It's
Your favorite 1942 is when the Scotty Dog came out, and the Horse and Rider and the Wheelbarrow. The Scotty Dog is the most popular because they did a vote of which piece should we definitely keep, and people loved the Scotty Dog.
I almost bought probably 5 years ago. There was a company that was making, I don't know the scale, but a 12-inch by 12-inch pieces. So you could buy
fine.
A metal Scotty Dog that was this big. Yeah,
that's fine.
But I ended up not buying it. Mm-hmm. I also went to Albertsons years ago because they also did the Monopoly game, and asked the manager. They had these giant. The cards, the cards that you get. They had giant replicas of that hanging from the ceiling.
As their display for the promotion?
And I was they were so pop art to
Where
me.
do
I was
those
can I
go?
have those? And we're not allowed to give them away.
Oh, man. I always think about that with store displays. I'm
sometimes they will. They'll stick your name on a Post-it and they don't care. And
I think about that when I'm in Target or where the grocery store and there's big weatherproof foam core candy canes hanging from the ceiling. I'm don't throw these out. These are cool decorations.
It depends on the brand. I know Taylor Swift has orders that all of her stuff because it Target.
It has to be promptly incinerated.
Yeah, it has to be destroyed because they'll make giant replicas of the record. So if you find a manager, they'll give you those. You can sell those for a ton.
Yeah, let people sell them. Who cares?
Who cares?
Let your fans make a little cash.
No, the billion is only for me.
I mentioned this in the beginning. I think this is a little fun piece of history. In 1941, the British Secret Intelligence Service had John Waddington, the licensed manufacturer of the game in the United Kingdom, create a special edition for World War II prisoners of war held by the Nazis. Hidden inside these games were maps, compasses, real money, and other objects useful for escaping.
Good Lord.
They were distributed to prisoners by fake charity organizations created by the British Secret Service. You show up and you're hey, we're from UNICEF. Can the prisoners have a little game of Monopoly to play to pass the time while they're prisoners? And they were yeah, sure, send them in. And it was inside was a little shiv and a little compass and real cash. So
I'm always
cute.
amazed by things that are able to make it into a prison.
Right? Baked into a cake, a file.
Into a cake.
You showing up to visit your prisoner husband with a tall cake filled with a file.
Just a 4-foot peep with a person inside of it.
I could see you dating a prisoner.
I've talked about this on pod. I used to go to the Pen Pal prisoner Pen Pal websites.
It might be time to get back on there.
I was always looking for someone that was getting out in about a year because it would give me enough time to lose a little weight.
Clean up the apartment. Get that ice maker really humming. Monopoly is, of course. Hang on, my ice is almost done. You only have, what, like 2 cubes in your Diet Coke? Hang on.
Clink,
in
clink.
45 minutes, you can get 6 more. Monopoly is, of course, perfect for Guinness World Records.
Oh, of course.
Quite stupid, in my opinion.
If you were to lay every Monopoly game...
Even stupider than that to me. Longest Monopoly game in a treehouse, 286 hours.
What?
Longest Monopoly game underground, 100 hours.
Wait a second.
I know.
How can the length of the gameplay be? I can go as slow as I want to go.
That's a good point.
I could go so slow.
Longest game in a bathtub, 99 hours.
These are the dumbest. If these are actual records.
Longest game upside down, 36 hours. There's like largest, and like they make like a big game board on like a football field. It's like, 250 people in our town came out to play. All of them are so dumb. This is the only one that's interesting, and it's very, very cute to me. This is for some reason credited as the longest game ever played, but I don't see how that's possible because it's 5 days, 120 hours. But
I'm going to stop you right there. You can still give me your fact. Any record that is the longest should be invalidated. They should only be the shortest.
That's actually a really good point because that's like a race.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I did it faster than anyone else, anyone can do it longer than anyone else.
I completely.
This makes no sense.
Completely agree. But this is what is so cute about this story. Okay, so this is 1961. This is apparently, I don't know how the longest record for the game ever played is shorter than the game underwater or whatever the hell it is. But anyway, the story is cute, so put that out of your mind. 1961, brothers at the Sigma Alpha Mu, what's that in Greek?
I wasn't a frat
The
boy.
Sigma Alpha fraternity.
Did you think I was a frat boy?
I did.
Okay.
You can really spiral football.
Thank you.
So it's 1961 frat guys. Put your head there. We're in
it's there.
heaven.
My
The
head
shorts
is there.
are short, the thighs are tan. They played for 5 days straight. The original players were Eddie Leeds, Howard Finkel, Alan Polinoff, and Sherman Fogel. So they pooled their resources, they split into teams, they're working together. The game is dragging on for hours into Monday night. Tuesday morning, the game is still going. The brothers, they decide they can't stop. They want to let people know what they were going to do. So they called the local news station to come down and check them out as they're playing this game. Hey, we're in the middle of a Monopoly game that we can't end, and we're going to keep this thing going.
We'll be right there. I'll send my photographer.
Breaking news. I mean, you don't think of 1961 as being a particularly slow news time, but, local news is always charming for these kind of human interest stories. So they go down to the frat house on Dithridge Street, and they want to see the games for themselves. The boys are playing in shifts. Other frat boys are getting in. The pledges are playing for teams in their absence because they got to go to class. On Wednesday, the game hits a snag. They start to run out of money from the bank because you get $200 every time you go around. The brothers had passed go so many times at this point, their bank is run out of money. So naturally, the boys wire Parker Brothers, the makers of Monopoly, to suggest a course of action.
This is not real.
This is true. This is a legitimate news story. Parker Brothers is seeing the news story. They see this is a legit thing. They have to respond. They get the message of this marathon Monopoly game, and the president of Parker Brothers wired them back. He says, refuse to let bank fail. Rushing $1 million Monopoly dollars to you by airmail. Carry on. $1 million Monopoly money. According to the news story from 1961, the brothers loaned back some of their Monopoly money to the bank so they could continue playing while the reserve funds were being flown to the Pittsburgh International Airport. The $1 million in Monopoly money was picked up at the airport by Brinks Security armored trucks and driven to the frat house, arriving on Thursday night, by which time the brothers had broken the bank again. At this point, the story was picked up by all the major news outlets across the country, including the Wall Street Journal, who thought that the game was an excellent representation of inflation. And economics professors are suggesting their students watch the game to see how the value of money can be deflated when too much of it is in circulation. So they're learning. Learning.
Sure.
The game went on for 2 more days, but finals is fast approaching, so they got to wrap this up. It has to end sometime. The Pitt news article reported that the last dice were thrown by Parker Brothers Vice President Randall Barton, leaving the final results at Finkel and Leeds with $146,000 and Polinoff and Fogel with $133,000. After 5 days and 120 and a half hours, history's longest Monopoly game was over. At the dinner, they had a dinner after, Barton awarded the fraternity with a wooden embossed edition of Monopoly, as well as 100 copies of assorted games, which were donated at Christmas to needy children in the Pittsburgh area.
What?
This story is like, what? The hell is this? $1 million being flying in on an airplane and then to bring security truck driving to a frat house and then everybody's having dinner and
we won't acknowledge the woman that made the game, but we'll celebrate these frat boys and give them everything under the moon.
This is canonically the longest game of Monopoly, even though it is shorter than all the other recorded games. There's so much about it that's very cute, so it's worth mentioning because it's a big part of Monopoly's history. Unlike, that lady who invented the game 30 years prior to it going to print. Sure.
Oh, sure. Who cares about her? So all we have to do to get into the world record is to play a Monopoly game for 6 days?
You just wear a diaper. That's it. Just have a diaper, have some snacks.
They didn't sleep. They stayed up.
They stayed up. They played in shifts,
No one stayed up for 5 days. They would have gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Maybe they did. There were no Cocoa Puffs found in the house after the game.
Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that wild? All these sweaty 1961 frat guys
all these
hunched over a board.
Tired frat guys that need like a massage between shifts.
You think their dice rolling arms were so sore that they needed to be rubbed?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a weird history. It has a checkered past, but it's a big part of the culture right now. And I still, despite Hasbro's, I think, fumbling of what could be a really charming story about its inception, despite that fumbling, I think you know how I feel about it. Jon, is Monopoly on brand for you?
It obviously it must be on brand for me. I have 7 copies of the game I hate. How could it not be? I'm probably in the top 10% of number of Monopoly games that anyone owns.
Probably, yeah, I'd say so.
So yeah, it's on brand for me. I like the graphics. I hate that someone got swindled out of their history. I mean, but every brand we do has flaws. Mm-hmm. So setting that aside, sure. Yeah. I mean, I think I even have a Monopoly t-shirt that says get out of jail free on it. I have so much Monopoly stuff.
It's like when you said you weren't a coin collector.
Well, I'm not a coin collector.
Do you collect coins?
I have coins that I've collected.
So do you like Monopoly?
No, I don't.
You're wearing a Monopoly t-shirt in front of 12 copies of Monopoly while playing Monopoly Go on your phone.
I'm getting a Money Pennies tattoo tramp stamp on Friday.
Stamp, sure.
Yeah, it's on brand for me. I almost say it's a hard on brand for me, but I won't because I don't play it.
But as far as a brand, I think the brand is more on brand for you than the game.
The brand, as a brand, it is more on brand for me than the game.
Yeah.
If there were Monopoly Oreos, I'd probably buy them.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
I don't know what they would be. Green cream for the money. Old green cream. That's what I would want my Monopoly name to be.
I don't think you pick a name.
I'm Johnny Old Green Cream. What about you?
It's a hard on for me, and it's making me actually want to play. I think we should play this year on Friday.
Let's play after the holidays. I got a lot going on. We have to record 5 more shows before I go home for Christmas.
We'll play the first time we hang out in the new year. We'll play Monopoly.
Perfect.
Sounds great.
We'll play the fast round.
With the speed die, highly controversial.
Why are there certain... Here's research I want you to do.
Yes, I might know it.
Why are certain pieces on the board hit less often?
Well, the oranges are the most likely to be hit.
But why?
Well, there's cards that direct you to those.
Oh.
I think maybe the most common roll is a 7, so maybe like 7s would take you.
There's more combinations of the dice that equal 7?
Yeah.
No.
7's the most common roll. It's why in craps, if you roll a 7, you lose.
Oh.
But there's cards that direct you to the oranges also. You can win with any property except the browns.
Wow, that is saying something.
You think that's saying something? I think it actually might not be brown anymore. I think they might have changed it. But they're the cheapest ones. As I said, one of the names, how it's changed over the years. Marvin Gardens is still misspelled, and they changed Oriental Avenue to something else.
Do you have a favorite color?
I
like the light blues.
Pinks.
I like the cheapies.
I like the cheapies too. I don't want the super cheapies. I like the second to third most cheapies. I do not want Boardwalk and Park Place. That is too much pressure.
It's stressful, but it's nice when
stressful.
people land on them.
But you only have 2 spots to land on.
Yeah, but then they have to all of a sudden mortgage half of their properties.
The advice also is to not go to hotels, but to stop at 3 houses because that is the best return on your investment. And then you dominate the housing market. There's not any houses anybody else can buy. Whereas if you switch to hotels, then all these houses are freed up for other people to buy. So the strategy is go for the oranges, buy property as soon as you land on it, and stop at 3.
And you can't use, once the actual physical houses are gone, you can't just use beans.
You cannot use beans.
There's no like replacement.
No,
houses.
there's like there's intentionally a finite number of houses.
Okay.
Yeah. But maybe your family has a bean rule where you can use beans. I'm sure there's somebody's copy of Monopoly with a bunch of dried beans rattling around in the box because their family has the bean rule where you can use dried beans.
We played a game where we had lost a piece and I put a Brazilian nut in there for many years.
We still have that rancid old nut with a face drawn on it.
I drew a little happy face on a Brazilian nut.
I think it was for Mexican Train.
Oh, yeah. That's a good game.
That's a really good dominoes game.
Well, hopefully, thank you for teaching us about this. Hopefully this holiday season, we still have a week left before Christmas. Families are getting together and now they will roll the dice and buy the properties and have some trivia that they can throw out to
There's
their
some
family.
really good trivia. Tell that very long-winded, strange story about the 1961 frat house during an awkward lull at the dinner table.
Yeah, tell the story of how these boys have the Guinness Book of World Records, even though it's not the longest game, and how anyone can play a long game.
Uh-huh.
Tell them that story.
Yeah,
and tell them
that story.
That stenographers may just be tapping candy bars. And I'm wondering if I'm picturing a stenographer's machine. Now I'm wondering if I'm just picturing an organ. But I can't remember what an actual stenographer's thing looks like.
The only way we can find out is for a stenographer listening to send us a picture of their setup.
Yeah, I can't Google
That's
it. I can't. All right. Well, thank you so much. That's very fun. Before we go, let's give some shout outs to our Freaks of the Week. And if you're wondering, how do you become a Freak of the Week? Well, it's really easy. Every Wednesday on our Instagram story, I post a little puzzle. If you solve that puzzle and send me the answer, you're not only going to figure out what our brand is going to be that week, your name is going to get added to our Wheel of Freaks, and you're going to get a little freak badge that I send you to let you know that you're right. I'm going to spin that wheel 5 times, and those are going to be our 5 Freaks of the Week, and that's who these lucky people are now. This was for the Sharper Image Insta Egg. And our Freaks of the Week are Cece P, Brenda Brody, Lucy McGuffey, Carolyn Knott, and Blazenstein. Sorry, Blazenstein, I tried to find out if you had a first name, but you won during the spin, so it's hard for me to do that live. So, Blazenstein. I'm sure that's what you would want your shout out to be, right? Blazenstein. And I'm probably saying it wrong, but there you go. I also want to give a shout out to a very sweet young woman in Australia. Her name is Mika. Her mom, Belle, reached out to me and was like, hey, I just want you to know that my daughter, Mika, is obsessed with you both.
Aww.
Every night she asks for Jon and Marisa to listen to as she falls asleep. She now also does the okay and kills it. So she just wanted us to know that. So Mika, they've also sent us a little video of her doing our whole little intro, and it's adorable. So Mika, we wanted to wish you a happy holiday. Thank you for falling asleep to our annoying voices.
I'm sure that was our intention when we started this podcast, was to be the last thing children hear before they drift off to dreamland.
Every podcaster dreams of sending people to sleep.
You know, it doesn't work on my own kids that way for some reason. I wish it did. But thank you so much, Mika. That is so sweet. Thank you for listening.
Yes, we really appreciate it. So yeah, be sure to check out the Instagram for the Insta Egg every Wednesday. Check out every Monday. We post supplementals from the week before, so you can see some of the patent drawings that we're talking about. We can see if the founders are hot. Wait, was this chick hot?
She's hot, yeah.
She's hot.
Of course she is.
Of course she is. How's she not going to be hot?
She's a legend.
I bet that guy, though, not hot.
Total dump.
Total dump. The dog token was made after his likeness. So check all those out. And a big, super fun announcement. We hit our 500 YouTube subscribers. So thank you so much for subscribing. Please continue to do so. Because as we hit 500, I read that you actually need 1,000 for it to make.
Are you serious?
5 is still okay, but 1,000's where we want to be. But don't worry, I'm not going to push it every week. But it is free to subscribe. So please do subscribe to our YouTube if you get an opportunity. And we're also always hustling for Apple reviews.
And if you didn't know, you can watch these episodes on YouTube. So if sometimes you like to listen, maybe you also want to see us talking instead of just listening, like today.
Today I did a funny little bit where I made cross eyes.
Oh, true. You would have missed that.
You won't have seen that if you're just listening.
Gosh.
If you watch on YouTube, you'll see that.
So true. So check us out on YouTube, on Instagram, @OnBrandThePod, TikTok, @OnBrandThePodcast. You can play Jon's Insta Egg game. Fun puzzle every week. He's taken on the character of Puzzle Dom. He'll berate you if you get it wrong. It's very cute. You can chat with him in bed. We love hearing from you guys. If you're a stenographer, if you have any feedback feedback or thoughts on the brand we're talking about. We would love to hear from you. We also have an episode that comes out every Tuesday called Off Brand, so you can check that out. It's more chit-chat and less learny-learny. And with that, we'll be back next week with an all-new episode.
And remember, we may go off topic, but we'll always be on brand.
Bye.
Goodbye.
On brand.